So a couple months back, I reviewed a USB microphone from a company called Fifine. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that microphone was around $30 to $35, and it had some pretty outstanding sound quality for that price. Well, Fifine was nice enough to send me their brand new HD webcam. I have the box upside down. This webcam is currently going for about $37 on Amazon, and today in this video we're going to be doing a little review of it. We're going to see what kind of footage can come out of this little bitty webcam and kind of compare it up against its competitors like the Logitech C920. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first off, we're gonna check out what's inside the box. The packaging is really small and it's really easy to open, which is definitely something I like inside my unboxing experience. On the outside of the box, you'll see some basic features of the webcam, and you'll also see their smiley face logo. Taking the top off of the box will reveal your basic user manual, which I'm pretty sure no one actually reads. Am I right? Is there anyone out there that actually reads the stupid user manual? Because I know I don't. Anyways, after moving the manual to the side, you'll be greeted with the webcam. The webcam is made entirely of plastic like most other webcams, and it's really lightweight. I don't even think this thing weighs more than a pound. The USB cable on the microphone is right at 5 feet, so that should be more than long enough to be able to plug into your computer and wire all the way up to clip on top of your monitor. When you hook up the camera to your computer, there's no software or anything you have to download. As soon as you hook it up, you're good to go. All you gotta do is fire up OBS, add a new video source, and this camera is listed as a USB camera. Once you click on USB camera, add the source, it'll pop up and you'll be good to go. Now, a nice feature that I personally like is whenever you are using the webcam, you'll notice that a green light on the left side of the webcam is going to pop up. That green light is signifying that the webcam is currently in use. And whenever you close out of OBS or whenever you close out of whatever software you're running the webcam with, that green light's going to cut off and it's saying that it's not being in use right now. A small feature that isn't a deal breaker by any means, but I would have liked to see, I know one of the Logitech cameras has it, is a little privacy filter, basically just a little open up and close flap. So whenever you aren't using the webcam, you have that extra layer of security kind of where you can close that little plastic flap over the lens. That way you are sure that there's no prying eyes looking through your webcam. But like I said, that's not a deal breaker by any means. That's just a small feature I would maybe like to see in the next model. Now, unfortunately, this is where the pros and all the good things about the webcam kind of stop. Everything else about the webcam when it comes to the image quality is pretty subpar at best. Before I give you guys all my thoughts, I'll actually show you guys a sample video I recorded and let you guys see me talking about the webcam and using it in action. So go ahead and roll the clip of me using the webcam. Okay, so here's your sample of the Fifine K432 webcam. As you'll see, it is a very wide angle. I mean, it almost reaches my entire wingspan of my arms. It's a very wide angle fisheye style lens, and you'll notice in the background, the fisheye kind of makes the back of the room look kind of warped. You know, this wall of foam panels is actually completely level, but when you look at it on the webcam, it looks like they're like off level, like it's kind of going like this, if that makes sense, or it's going up at an angle. And you'll notice over here, if you look at the chair looks completely warped. Everything on the sides of the webcam, since it's this fisheye style lens, looks completely warped and it doesn't look natural at all. Now, I'm all a fan for a wide angle lens, but this like fisheye style approach, how it kind of warps everything on the sides of your backdrop, it's very unappealing and unattractive for me for pretty much any scenario. Now, you guys will also notice there's a lot of noise in the background. If you guys don't know what noise is, it's kind of all this like moving, kind of looks like static down here. There's a lot of that in the background, no matter what kind of lighting setup I used, whether I use my big ring light like I'm currently using right now, or I turn on my smaller ring light, this one right here, for example. No matter what lighting setup I use, I could not get rid of that noise in the background. That's just something to deal with the sensor, and that's something you really aren't going to be able to fix. Now, also the saturation, I'm going to turn off really quick. Right now I have some filters on the webcam, but I'm going to go in and turn off those filters so you guys can see what the camera looks like without any filter, any color correction or anything. So 3, 2, 1, boom. This is the camera absolutely raw with no color correction added to it whatsoever. You guys will see the color accuracy is completely off. It almost looks like it's a black and white scale. There's no saturation by any means. Even the G Fuel cups up here, you can see all of them are kind of, the color's just gone on everything, you know? The color's gone on my hair. The color's kind of gone on my shirt. I mean, you guys can obviously still see that it's green, but when I compare it to adding that color correction, that color accuracy back, you guys can see this looks a whole lot better than this right here looks. So if any of you use this webcam already, you're definitely going to want to go in and add some color correction filters on OBS. Otherwise, you guys are going to be dealing with a really unsaturated, just kind of dull look to your camera. So there you go, guys. That's your sample of the K432 webcam. Now let's get back to the video. Now, I wish I had my Logitech C920 still to kind of compare it to, do a side-by-side comparison to another really popular webcam in the industry. But since I no longer have that webcam, I unfortunately can't do that kind of comparison, and I don't think it's fair to compare it to the only other camera I have, which is my Canon M50, because this Canon camera is about 16 times the price as this webcam, so that wouldn't be a fair comparison at all. But I can tell you guys, from having over a year's experience with the Logitech C920, whenever it's not price gouged, right now it's going for like over $100 bucks, but when I bought mine, I believe it was $60 something. And I definitely recommend spending the extra $30–40 to pick up the Logitech over picking up this webcam. Now, like I mentioned in the sample video I showed you guys, I think that the very wide angle fisheye style lens is very unattractive and unappealing to pretty much anything you might use this webcam for, whether it comes to streaming video games on Twitch or YouTube, or a business call or a Skype call or anything like that. I just don't think that super wide angle style lens is suitable for anything, because if you notice, like I said in the video, the sides of the camera, it's everything on the sides is warped and it starts to kind of look unleveled, like your whole background looks like it's unleveled and like your room is kind of going like this, if that makes sense. To me, it's a lot more distracting than it is good. You know, I'm all for a wide angle lens, but this fisheye style lens, I don't think it cuts it, man. And another thing I pointed out was the noisiness in the webcam. Even with adequate lighting, you know, I have both of my massive ring light and my small clip-on ring light. No matter what kind of lighting I use, I couldn't get the image quality to come out the way I wanted it to. And in addition to the noisiness, the unsaturation of colors, it's just, even I had to bump up the saturation to like a 0.7 value, which is bumping it up pretty high, like 70%. And even with that, the more you bump it up, it adds saturation, but since it's an editing effect, the more you do it, the more it looks fake, you know? You need that color accuracy and that saturation right out of the camera, not something you have to add in later on, if that makes sense. And like I showed in the sample video, there are some things you can do with color correction to make it look a little better, but even with all those color correction effects, you still can't get that image quality that you would get out of a Logitech C920 or the C922 or anything like that. And now granted, this webcam is about $30–40 cheaper than the Logitech series webcams, but if I were in the market for a new webcam, I would save up that extra to $30–40 and invest it in a much higher quality camera like the Logitech. Because as much as this camera is advertised and marketed as a 1080p webcam, it almost feels like it's a 480p source and then it's upscaled to a 1080p value. So basically it's just resizing it and blowing up a 480p image, and that's why it looks so blurry. Now, make sure you take everything in this video with a small grain of salt. You know, it is Fifine's first attempt at making a webcam, and I don't think they should give up. I think they should come out with a second model. Hopefully they'll take some of the things I said in this video into consideration and maybe implement them in a newer model for the webcam. You know, I'd even be willing to pay an extra $10–20 to get some of those extra features, like getting correct color saturation, taking away some of that noisiness, getting rid of that fisheye lens, because I do not like that fisheye style lens whatsoever. And instead of that huge fisheye angle, just use a normal wide angle lens, you know? So those are all of my thoughts on Fifine's brand new K432 webcam. Let me know what you guys think. Is there any features that you guys want to see added in a newer model of the Fifine webcam? And maybe I can forward some of those features that you guys drop in the comments below onto Fifine, and maybe they can try to implement those in the next version of the webcam if they do make a new version. But anyways, that's gonna do it for the video. If you guys did enjoy and you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.